What's up, you guys? Welcome to Fightful. It's November 26, 2025. I am Sean Rossap, and it's time to. It's the hump. It's Wednesday. Get your super chats in, get your humper chats in. We want to know what you guys want to talk about. We've got Kimmy here with us today. Kimmy, what is your official job title?
I'll say talent rep. We'll go with that.
Wrangler. You're a wrangler.
Wrangler's wild.
A sheep herder is what you are. In some ways, you could argue. Am I wrong?
I mean, so technically, when you say that I rep you, does that mean I'm sheep hoarding you?
I mean, you only do that when because I'm so popular. People just show up and want to take pictures with me, Kimmy. But Kimmy is the person that you all hate when you go to signings and tells you cannot sign bats. No, you cannot sign a used condom. You cannot sign anything like that. But this week, I will be seeing Kimmy at Wrestlecade. It is a must attend for me every year. I've mentioned this. If they did Survivor Series in Cincinnati, I would still be at Wrestlecade. That's how much I love Wrestlecade. You all can go to wrestlecade.com, see what it's all about. I mean, the guest list is insane. It is absolutely insane. Kimmy will be right by Sting's side throughout
I
some of
won't
this. You
be.
won't
I won't.
be?
No, I told you who I'm working with. My dad will be working with Sting.
Okay.
So my dad will be yelling at you if you come with a bat, you're not getting it signed. It's just not happening. It's been promoted, so don't even try to say it
Yes.
hasn't. If you look on that long list that Wrestlecade just shared, it's number 19 that Sting won't sign bats. But I am honored to be working with a former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Some would say he's a scumbag, but he's making his Wrestlecade debut this weekend. I'm working with MJF, Sean.
Yes, MJF, who I am tentatively scheduled to interview, time permitting. But like Okada's going to be there, Jushin Thunder Liger, Sting, Hardy Boys, Trish Stratus, just tons of major stars at WrestleCade every year. Then they do incredible shows as well. Fourth Rope, I'll be at my first Fourth Rope show. If you guys see me there, please come and say hi. But if you're here right now and you got questions, statements you want read on the air, send in a super chat, send in a humper chat, and of course, leave a thumbs up on this video, share the link, all that good stuff, especially if you have any good questions about the convention scene, signings, and the like. Kimmy is the go-to. I said this once, and I shouldn't have inflated your ego like that. I really shouldn't have, but I think that you're going to be one of the most powerful people in that line of work over the next 30, 40 years. I listen, probably 40 years. People will be doing that until they're like 60. They do. You never get out of it, but you do really well, Kimmy.
I'm gonna clip that and just show it to like my boss, our other very good friend, some other very good friends of ours. I'm gonna be like, see, someone believes in me.
I do believe in you. And I believe in our wonderful audience who has sent in a bunch of super chats and humper chats already. Dave Koss says, do you feel the C2 has enough stakes? It's a grueling tourney with the best in AEW, and for me, it doesn't feel like enough for the winner when world title shots are frequent on regular TV without build. Well, here's how I feel. I think it should have been for a shot at Okada's championship, the unified championship, as a way to establish, oh, this is the second world title in AEW. Him defending it throughout or defending it as a byproduct of the tournament could be that too. I still think it'll be Takeshita that ends up winning it, and that's how we eventually get that match. But Kimmy, the slate for the Continental Classic is loaded from an in-ring perspective. But how do you feel about like what is on the line, which is effectively the unified title?
I hate that it's defended within the tournament. I agree with you. I said this when they first started with Eddie Kingston and the Ring of Honor title was being defended when Final Battle was within the realms of the tournament. It just didn't make sense to me. I am shocked that Bandito is not in the C2. because I thought that was the reason they lost the tag titles, was to put Bandito in here to have him wrestle every week. I didn't think he was going to win the whole thing, but when the whole like bracket came out, I was like, man, he's not in this, and I don't know why. I don't get it.
I want the unified title to keep consuming other titles. Like, if one day they do away with ROH, I know which would be your dream, right? I want that to consume the ROH championship as well. Like, I want it to be like the ultimate unification title, because with WWE, you know, they're always going to have the WWE championship. That is the one title they have never cut the lineage on. I think almost everything else they have. The Intercontinental title went away for a while, US title as well. The tag titles were gone for a little while. That is the constant. And I think AEW will always have that constant championship as well. But I want the unified title to sort of consume other things, and then eventually be it's you know, the second world title, so to speak.
Is that also including the title they just introduced like last week?
Yeah. Which again, I love visually. I love that championship, which a lot of people got weird about, and I'm glad Conrad cleared it up. He's like, guys, the NWA does not own that championship. Georgia Championship Wrestling used that design. WWF used that design. The designer of the title owns that design, which is Reg Parks and now Dave Milliken. But like, I don't know. I feel like for the way that the title that they debuted, legitimately calling it the All Atlantic or the International Championship would have made more sense, because it's to be defended internationally. But here we are.
Well, they tried that originally. They had an international title, but you know.
Yeah. But then they unified it. Now it's a bigger thing, and I'm okay with that. What have you heard about Bianca and her timeline? Not much, Dave. So I think she's spoken about this as well. But when it initially happened, she broke her finger, and most people backstage just thought, oh, well, she'll be back in like 6-7 weeks, because she was like, I don't want to say laughing it off, giggling it or anything, but people were coming and like gawking at it because her knuckle blew up. But they were just like, oh, broken finger, that sucks. But it was the knuckle specifically, and you can actually see in recent interviews that it has not healed up well. And this is not an injury that you see a ton of in wrestling, which is, you know, unfortunate that she sustained it for sure.
I think she would have killed it in War Games too.
Me too. I that's a bummer. And I mean, I am glad that she's getting a break. I just hate how the break happened.
Yeah.
So Dave Koss also says it feels like we'll get a good look at likely Mania main events coming out of War Games. What do you expect to see versus what do you want to see? Kimmy, do you have any immediate thoughts on what you would like to see, or what you would want to, or what you think we'll see?
I don't know if this would be considered, it wouldn't be a main event, but I think if AJ is going to stick around for Mania, I want AJ versus Roxanne for the IC title. I think definitely deserves to be on the Mania card. I think we'll have Liv Morgan in the realm for one of the women's titles. I could see her actually winning the Royal Rumble and her returning there if she's cleared in time. I don't know what her injury status is. On the men's side, I think it was interesting in the Roman Reigns promo where he didn't necessarily say what title would look better on him, to kind of give you the, maybe it's Punk, maybe it's Cody, I don't know. But I think there's a better story with Roman and Punk since we've seen Roman and Cody already at 2 WrestleManias. I don't think we need to see it at the 3rd.
I think WWE has a lot of options, a lot of realistic, good options. I don't want to see Roman and Cody again. I would love to see like Obafemi win the Royal Rumble and immediately challenge Cody, immediately become world champion. I think that would be great. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, straight up a possibility. Roman Reigns versus Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker versus Brock Lesnar. Braun Breaker, versus any other big sirloin beef sons of bitch. Gunther, anybody, like just do those. I don't want to see Roman Cody, and I don't want to see Roman Brock Lesnar. I want to see, if we've got to see Brock Lesnar, which I don't want, I want to see him against somebody new. We are going to see Roman Reigns there, and I do want to see him there. I just want to see him working with somebody at least a little bit different, or a different type of matchup. And I know they did the triple threat with CM Punk last year, but I do also think that there's room for the singles. They can always go to Cody and CM Punk in the future, which I think it is intentional why they kept them apart so long. Liv Morgan is definitely the person I would have win the Royal Rumble at this point and challenge maybe even challenge Jade. I think that Liv could probably get a good match out of Jade. And I think that one would be good. Yeah.
I
Josh
didn't
Moore.
think Jade was gonna hold. No, sorry to interrupt you, but I didn't think
No,
Jade
go
was gonna hold
ahead.
the
No, go
title.
ahead.
I didn't think Jade was gonna hold the title for that long. I don't know who's gonna beat her. I just don't see
Sure.
her being a champion till Mania.
Josh Morgan, thank you so much for the generous super chat that you always send in. I can't tell you how important that is. Thank you. Ricardo says, hello, Kimmy and SRS, and hello, lovelies. Dave Koss also says, how would you compare and qualify the two Hangman title reigns in AEW? What do you like, dislike about each? Different choices you would have made. Altogether, I think the second Hangman title reign ended up happening when it should have. I did not enjoy the majority of the duration of the Death Rider's story leading up to it, but that did lead to a lot more enjoyment of the moment when he lost the title and then Jon Moxley's subsequent booking after that. I have no issues with this 4-month title reign. I think 4-month title reigns, 3, 2, 1-month title reigns should be far more normal. I love that Hangman came through and defended the title like 5 times. He stayed busy and then he dropped the title. That's okay. You don't have to hold it for 7, 10, 12, 14 months. You can. I think that is you absolutely can, but I think that over the past 20 years, there has been a major shift from all the title reigns were way too short to a lot of the title reigns were way too long. How are you feeling about this, Kimmy, before I elaborate?
So, meaning I was there at Full Gear this weekend. The only thing that I was like kind of upset about was because the show was so long, and you and I discussed this, that the pop for Joe winning was nearly not there.
Yeah.
And for me, it's a big deal because now Joe is a 2-time AEW World Heavyweight Champion. You have Swerve in the mix. I'm sure the talent I mentioned before that will be at Wrestlecade this weekend is going to slowly make his way back before the end of the year as well. So I feel like there's so much going on in the AEW world title scene that it should have been a bigger moment. I didn't think Hangman was going to lose until World's End, though. But I mean, like you said, he had to win in Texas. There was no way he couldn't beat Moxley. He did what he needed to do. And you could say that he defended the title more than some other AEW World Heavyweight Champions we had.
Sure. And I mean, one of the things I liked about his original reign is he immediately had 2 classics with Bryan Danielson. And he did have a great match with Kyle Fletcher. I should say that. I don't like that his title reign was comprised of facing people who held other title belts as well. That's an indication to me that you got too many championships. If you were in a situation where the TNT title or the TNT title's put on hold and the trios title is put on hold as a result. But otherwise, by and large, I really enjoyed this title reign. And again, I want to normalize shorter title reigns. I've said this over and over again, Kimmy. Everybody knows that Stone Cold Steve Austin won the title from Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14. Do people talk about his reign that followed? I don't hear people talk about what a great reign he had.
I wasn't alive.
You weren't alive. You weren't alive. So nobody talks about it. He had a nice feud with like Dude Love afterwards. And he lost the title 3 months later to Kane. And it was a one-night thing. There was no great title reign. There was a great moment. And sometimes that's okay. But obviously you are booking from a week-to-week perspective a lot more now. But yeah, I actually enjoyed this title reign. There's a number of shorter reigns that I have enjoyed too, and I like when WWE does them as well. Could we finally see a women's C2 next year?
No.
You don't think so? Why is that?
Because I feel like I'm listening to Tony too much, but like every time Tony does something, he'll always be like, "Oh, everyone got hurt, so we can never do this again." You know, he said it. I forgot what media call it was. I want to say it was All Out, where he was like, "Oh, so we did this at All In, and then all these people got injured." And even the tag team tournament, there's been things that have changed because people got hurt. Queen Aminata got injured, Penelope Ford got injured. So I feel like he's just so fixated on this everybody gets hurt every time I give an opportunity that I don't want to risk it anymore. And the other thing is, too, they've been recycling the same 10 people on every single Dynamite. And I'm not going to mention Britt. I won't be biased, but there's other people sitting at home. Nyla Rose is sitting at home.
Yes, Nyla Rose is sitting at home, not injured either, from what I understand.
Yeah, there's so many women sitting at home that you could be putting on TV every week that you're not. And until Tony is able to do that, I don't think we could do a C2 with 10 people. How many people are in the C2 for the men? 12, I think? Yeah. Is he going to put 12 women on TV?
I mean, he could and very well should, and that would be a great way to see how your audience responds to the multiple women's Dynamite matches per week. But 12 wrestlers, you got that. I would truly make it like a history of AEW type of thing. I would have Britt in it, even though she's probably not going to be under contract next year. I would have, and you know what? Sometimes to eliminate the criticisms, you just got to throw them in there. People forget that MJF can wrestle a lot. And I know that Britt's work, her last little run was not good, but also think about all the injuries she worked through. That's something I got to remind people of. This woman worked through broken nose, broken wrist, broke her leg. She had all those other physical issues where people were like, where is she? And then we found out, oh no, she had some very serious medical issues. But sometimes you got to get in there and see if she works. And if she doesn't, okay, well then you tried. But I would have Mercedes in that thing, Athena in that thing, Rosa in it as well. I would go as all out as you possibly can and do a C2. I'm surprised they actually ended up doing the women's ROH Pure. Why do we need that title?
Because I think your girl's going to win it at Final Battle next week.
Who?
Deanna.
Why is that my girl?
Well,
because she's done more interviews with us than any. Well, actually, Steve might have done more now. She's done more interviews with me than anyone else in history, and she wrote for us once. But Steve does a lot with Joel Pearl. So, boy, Joel Pearl.
Hey, listen, did I tell you I got de-invited from In the Weeds this morning because I was going on this show?
That's
and
good.
They said I couldn't do both.
Yeah, can't do that. Sorry. Diminishing returns. Hey, I'll tell you what's not diminishing returns. My bookie AG, Kimmy, because I've been betting against the Bengals for the last 3 or 4 weeks. My own team, I've been betting against them. But I did bet the over on Chase Brown's yardage last week because I had a good feeling about him. Now, Joe Burrow is back this week, and I think I'm going to put some money on the Bengals. And I can do that at my bookie AG. And right now, when you use the code in our description, the link in our description, you get a $50 bonus when you deposit $100 or a $100 bonus when you deposit $200. Check it out. My bookie AG, bet on anything, anytime, anywhere. They got live casino games, table games. You can bet with Bitcoins. They got slot games. I mean, you would be surprised at the different things you can bet on. As I look along the side, motorsports, MLS, NBA, NHL, Aussie rules, boxing, cricket, cycling, darts, entertainment even. Like Emmy winners, Grammy winners. Kendrick Lamar is the favorite for best rap album right now, by the way. Do you know that? Deftones, the favorite for best rock album. You know about the Deftones?
No.
I watched the change. That's that shit. That's that shit you like right there. My bookie AG. Please check them out.
I didn't know you were going to sing on this show too.
Oh, got a humper chat. Sean, can you please explain the screenshot that you posted? Because I think a lot of people took it the wrong way. Yes, I would love to. I would love to explain that. I had an account that consistently encourages harassment towards me and other specifically verified accounts. Well, why do they do this? Because in order to monetize, you have to hit thresholds. I know a lot of people think, oh, I just buy the blue check mark and I can monetize. No, that is not true. Twitter requires you to accrue a certain number of premium followers and to get certain thresholds of analytics. I have noticed, and this has happened in hip hop, it's happened in politics as well, not even the geographical thing, because people were like, oh my God, you're saying that Indians can't talk about wrestling? I don't give a shit about that. Like, what? I don't care about that. I care when somebody has changed their username 16 times and landed on a grift account. I think that's suspicious. That's why I also posted the fake Bob Holly account in there that used to pretend to be Sid and now very suspiciously goes after Sami Zayn an awful lot. I'm like, that's suspicious. But yes, that is suspicious behavior to change your username 16 times and land on a grift account that you are clearly planning to monetize as soon as you hit those thresholds. Absolutely. And by the way, in order to put the username and the number of changes that it's had, the location is right in the middle of that. So that's going to be in the screenshot as well. So let me make this clear. If you are being racist as a result of that, or geo-racist or anything like that, don't be following me. Don't be supporting me. I don't like that shit. Take that somewhere else. And also, if you're immediately accusing somebody of doing that type of thing, I don't want you either. Goodbye. Dave Koss says, not a question, but needs to be said. For the greatest women's roster of all time, WWE having no women's matches on Raw, SmackDown this past week is not cool. Yeah, that is uncharacteristic. WWE usually does a lot better with their women, Kimmy. Were you surprised to see this?
I didn't realize until Kate started tweeting about it. I was like, oh, wait, Kate's right. Kate knows it all. I mean, so, listen, you were the one who bought her a puppet.
I did. Still waiting on the returns from that. Please, guys, send super chats on those Tuesday shows. Not a good investment so far.
No, you have to either break even or make profit. Something I know so badly, all too well. But I think with the amount of women on WWE programming right now, there's no reason why there shouldn't be, especially since Chelsea just reclaimed the US title back. I know that she's doing stuff with NXT, but no reason why that title can't get defended, and no reason why Maxine can't have like a small little match since she just won the IC title too. She made mid-card titles for a reason, guys.
It was lazy booking of the women, and honestly, it's uncharacteristic across the board for WWE. Usually, they're a lot more inspired about regarding that, at least when it comes to one storyline. But that's what happens when you throw everybody into one War Games match. Everything else kind of falls by the wayside, and everybody got thrown into the women's blood and guts as well, and a lot of the other stuff got kind of just like it was an amalgamation, and everybody just kind of collected there. JM says, what is WWE doing with Braun Breaker? Went from turning on Seth to holding his title to being a side character in War Games. Logan doing all the talking, not him. Kimmy, I questioned in kayfabe why Bronson and Braun would ever join Seth to begin with. Bronson was already kicking Seth's ass on the regular. He didn't need Seth. Braun Breaker had just lost the IC title and was very clearly ascending up the card and ready to be a top guy. So it didn't make sense why they would join him. Was it cool? Yeah, I was like, oh my God, look at that. But afterwards, he attacked Seth Rollins and then just is booked to take a side seat there. And people can say, oh, his time is coming. His time is, don't worry. Be patient. Be patient. He, Obafemi, people like that, Gunther, I don't need to see their, it'll be such a great moment. I want to see somebody else get their moment off of these unstoppable machines. I'm puzzled at what they're doing with Braun Breaker.
I think I could see Braun winning the Rumble. I could see.
Me too.
There's a Saturday Night Main Event in between, right? Now in the Rumble,
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, the Cena one.
Oh no, is there another one like after that or no? And where I'm just
I'll look.
Up in my head.
I think so. I think there is. Yes, I do believe so.
He can win the title there. I'm not saying the Cena one. Obviously, that's just gonna be Cena and the NXT showcases and stuff. I mean, I think the Seth Rollins injury changed a lot of things that were supposed to happen. But I mean, I also agree with you that them joining the stable kayfabe-wise made no sense. But when Paul Heyman talks, Sean, sometimes you have to listen. I mean, they were talking about this on First Take this morning.
Saturday night's main event, January 24th in Montreal. It's the week before the Royal Rumble.
There
So,
you go.
and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them doing a Saturday night's main event right before the Rumble. I think it's actually a nice commercial for the Rumble. Well, if it was on NBC, it would be, because you're going to have 2 Rumble matches that take up most of the show anyway. So you can have a few singles matches the week before and bridge the gap that you had from Cena in mid-December, because that does feel like a pay-per-view. That feels like a big show. So I got no problem with them not having a traditional PLE there. I'm ready for Braun Breaker to be the guy, and I'm hopefully I do the busted open appearance. Mark Henry invited me on, but when he said, "Oh, Javon Evans will be that guy in like 15 years," I'm like, no. At sometimes you just got to let your audience know that somebody is that guy from the jump. Del Rio still gets bookings because of it, like, because they treated him like that, despite all the crazy shit he's done. They still get bookings because they showed that he was the guy very, very early on.
I could see him being called up within the Rumble, and he could do like all his crazy spots. Javon.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Man, Ryan, thank you so much. He says, "Hey, SRS and Kimmy, want to wish the both of you and the rest of America a happy Thanksgiving. Celebrated it last month, but I'm thankful for everything you and the team at Fightful and the great content you put out. All the best going forward." Well, first off, Ryan, thank you very much for this generous super chat and those kind words. And I got so much love for my Canadian friends. My second home is Toronto. Got to get my passport renewed so I can come back. But Ryan, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Ryan, you don't have to send a super chat. Just comment it in the chat. Is there like a standard for Canadian Thanksgiving? Like, we have turkey and gravy and cranberries and, stuffing and all that stuff. But what do they have like, is there something different in Canada?
I feel like they don't eat turkey. I feel like I asked Trish this question when I was trying to convince her to take the Wrestlecade booking. When I was like, that weekend doesn't matter to you because you're from Canada.
Yeah.
It's not Thanksgiving weekend to you. And I think she had said like it's not really a turkey thing. They eat other stuff. But I could be wrong. But I feel
Okay.
like that's what she told me.
Listen, yeah, I could be on some Canadian delicacies. I could do that. Meat Norman says, "No surprise. I love Thanksgiving. It's the meatiest of the holidays. I'll be smoking bacon wrapped turkey legs." Oh, that's what I need, man. That's what
That
I'm
sounds
not a
so
big
good.
turkey guy in general. I prefer
Same.
like a good juicy ham is what I like. Give me one of those. Overcooked as well.
Cooked. What?
Overcooked. Yep.
No.
I wanted to taste like I survived out in the woods and just happened to come across a ham and cooked it over a fire, and I wanted to make sure it was healthy to eat. That's how I want. And he says, "That's what I mean when I say let's crank." Rare meat question. Keith Lee and Wardlow coming soon. I don't think Wardlow's coming back anytime soon. He's probably rehabbing right now. And unfortunately, I've got nothing on Keith Lee. The moment I have anything on Keith Lee, the world will know it. He seemed to indicate that he was doing okay recently, but I've not had one person tell me, "Yeah, we've discussed him in creative," or like he's coming back. And unfortunately, like it's 2 years now, 2 years that he's missed, and very prime years, Kimmy, because these days 39 to 41 are prime years in wrestling.
And it's so sad too because when he signed with AEW, it was like, oh my god, he's gonna do all these amazing things. It makes so much sense. He's gonna do all the things he didn't do in WWE, and he's just sitting at home for 2 years, which is sadly some of the cases of people sitting at home doing.
Dave Costas, are you prepared for the Aura-ing War Games? Yeah, because I got a sponsor called Aura Frames, and you also check it out. It's like a digital picture frame. You'll be hearing about those every show in December. So yeah, I'm gonna be capitalizing on that aura. But yeah, you're gonna see a lot of posing. You're gonna see a lot of staring at another guy and them looking at the crowd, and the crowd going, "Oh my God, this is hypothetically gonna happen." Ah, like you're gonna see a lot of that there. Yeah. Oh, Kimmy, here's one I want to hear your thoughts on. Matthew Hooks of Hooked In Voiceovers, who sponsored the Fightful Awards last year, asks, who should Stat and Mercedes lose their titles to?
I think Trish Adora should take the
Brett.
ROH. No, No, listen, in my heart, yes. I think
Brit should
Trisha
job them all out. She should win every one of Mercedes titles from her.
Imagine, oh my god, then I'd be able to book her everywhere. That'd be my dream come true.
Oh my God. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think Trish Adora should defeat Mercedes for the ROH TV title. She is the only person within Shane Taylor Promotions without a title. Sean, they're supposed to run ROH, so I definitely think Trish Adora should be the one to defeat Mercedes. As for Statlander, I could see Willow. I'm trying to think who else. I could definitely see Willow or Tekla are my two picks for Statlander.
I think those are great picks. I think those two are really great picks. I like the shout on Trish Adora. I still think Billy should be the one to beat Athena, even though she wasn't mentioned here, because I think Athena would have lost that title to her months ago if she could have. I think if Athena had her way, she would have dropped that quite a while back, quite frankly. But yeah, we got a couple more super chats, humper chats coming our way. We've got DNC Digital says betting odds or predictions for Survivor Series. I don't think my bookie has them up yet. So let me look at what the lines stand at right now.
Can I give a crazy prediction?
Yes, after I read these odds. Dominic Mysterio is a favorite over John Cena to win the IC title. The babyface women, the heel men are your War Games favorites, and Stephanie Vecker is a monster favorite. Go ahead and make your crazy prediction.
It's not crazy anymore because it was in the odds, but I thought Dom was going to defeat Cena. I think it makes all the sense for him not to walk into his final match with the IC title, meaning I'm pretty sure he's going to lose his last match.
Here's where I stand on that. And I do think Dominic does win this match. I think Dominic is the person that gets put over. Kimmy, think about where our world is. Not our world. Think about where America is right now. Do you know where John Cena's last match is?
In Washington, D.C.
Do you know who WWE just falls all over themselves to just gum on this man's nuts?
The current president of the United States of America.
Yes, that would be correct. Do I think he'll be there? I don't know. He's going to be at the Army-Navy game. Kimmy, who was the person that WWE had go out and for some reason he spoke in like a half Southern accent and he goes, "We have caught and compromised Osama bin Laden."
John Cena.
Okay. Who do you think is going to win this tournament?
I thought Gunther, but I feel like you're about to sway me all other way.
No. I think Gunther too. What would you say? What era was Donald Trump heavily involved in WWE? I'd say the 80s, right?
Sure. I was going to
80s,
say
2000s, all that.
Well, I was going to say when he
How
did
many
the
action?
WrestleMania
You
spot.
don't watch action movies. Every action movie in the 80s would have some big, muscular, conquering American hero against this just vile European villain. Who plays a European villain very well?
Gunther.
That's what I think WWE is going to do. And I don't think that WWE is going to have Mr. Caught and Compromised lose his last match, probably waving a big American flag in Washington, D.C. That's where I stand on that. That's what I think they'll do.
I'm just happy I got all those questions right. I was getting a little nervous. I was like, I'm going to mess this up.
You knocked it out of the park on that quiz. You really did.
Good thing I graduated writer with honors, guys.
Here's one for you. Do you know how you can save a bunch of money by watching all the WWE programming on Netflix?
You could use NordVPN with code FIGHTFUL.
Yeah, you could. You could go to nordvpn.com/Fightful. This week, guys, you trying to watch that WWE PLE Survivor Series, but you don't have ESPN Unlimited? I got you covered. It's like $288 a month on this 2-year plus 4-month deal. Averages out to $2.88 a month. You download the app, you subscribe to nordvpn.com/Fightful. You change your virtual location. It's that easy. You just change your virtual location, log into Netflix, wherever else. Lithuania, UK, doesn't matter. It's all on Netflix. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, PLEs. And then you can also watch Saturday night's main event on YouTube with that VPN. It's not just WWE, though. You can save on AEW pay-per-views. You might say, well, how is that the case? Well, guys, because they go to 12:30 a.m. here, they go to 5:30 a.m. in the UK, and they can't exactly charge the same price when the pay-per-views are starting at 1 a.m. local time. So you save a bunch of money there. And that is far from it with nordvpn.com/Fightful. They have just a wealth of other great services and possibilities. One account works on 10 devices. And you might say, what devices? Every device: phone, laptop, desktop, PC. Over 10 years of service, an award-winning VPN. Use nordvpn.com. Look, Gary says, just renewed my NordVPN with the Fightful offer. We appreciate you. If you're a big NordVPN user, let us know in the chat. I mean, like, legitimately, even if you don't like the features that I mentioned, it's worth it to go there and check out the different deals that they have. They got cloud storage and all kinds of stuff for that, like that. Meet Normus says he got Full Gear and World's End for $34.99 from Lithuania. You love to see it. You really do love to see it. We got D-Lo Diggs. By the way, guys, get in those super chats, get in those humper chats. Says, hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving tomorrow. Hope Oba goes up and just dominates and wins the WWE title and beats Cody. That's my dream booking. Have you seen my dream booking of Oba Femi?
I feel like I have, but I feel like I haven't at the same time. Why don't you remind me, Sean?
I want him to show up and win the Royal Rumble straight off of NXT. And I want them to forever be able to say, oh my God, an NXT wrestler won the Royal Rumble. You can always use that as a promotional tool after that. Also, I would have him make his first statements on NXT that week as well. Heavily promote that show. And on that show, he straight up says, Cody Rhodes, you're mine. And I want him to still appear on NXT throughout this as well and just mow people down. And then at WrestleMania, I want him to have, I don't want to say a short match. I want him to have a largely one-sided match where Cody does fight back and hits his crossroads and his big spots, but Oba like kicks out at one. And then Cody really sells Oba and Oba wins. And that is the big guy to conquer. And honestly, I think Cody is the one guy that can really, really, really make Oba Femi in that regard, because I think that he's got an ability to do that from an emotional and facial expression standpoint to where he can do that. And then in subsequent months or whenever they face off again, I feel like Cody can come back and be a threat to him as well. He is one of those people I think they should immediately say, he is the guy. He's the top guy. Don't worry about the IC title. Don't worry about the US title. He's our world champion. I just think that should be it.
I could see that happening. I don't know. I mean, it makes sense, and I think it's something different, and I think WWE at this moment in time definitely needs something different. But
Sure.
are they going to have the faith in an NXT superstar to do it?
And the funny thing about, like, the conversation about all the 40-plus-year-olds being at the top of WWE, most of them can still work. Like, I'm glad. I'm glad that they're lasting longer than ever. But you have Braun Breaker, Oba Femi, Carmelo Hayes very clearly proved this week he can be an upper card guy, and Javon Evans. You got three guys that are 31 and under. And it's like, okay, it's time to establish them as top guys. You got 2 world championships. Let's go ahead and do that. And I know that you are in a special era of where Cody is on a very good run and you got CM Punk back. That's very cool. But it's okay to not have them involved. Everybody that's like 40 and up involved in those world titles. I also saw comparisons to this Samoa Joe, and I'm like, okay, but they don't always have somebody that age involved in the world title. And they do have MJF, top-notch, top-level performer. Kyle Fletcher is next up. Takeshita is next up. You know those guys are next up. So
there's also the looming factor of someone who may or may not debut in the Royal Rumble too, making his grand return.
Chris Jericho?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think he should. I think that's where he should go.
Oh yes, I just don't win. He does
Yeah.
not need a title in this reign. For the love of God, anyone in WWE, don't do it.
Dante says, probably a dumb question. Can you ask AEW why they don't sell more wall art? They're getting so many cool moments every pay-per-view that they're getting photographed but are never offered as posters. Dante, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but whenever I ask about like merchandising things, like why don't you all have the puppets? Why don't you all have this? Where are these replica titles? Where are those? I just don't get an answer regarding that stuff. And that's unfortunate, but I don't get a lot of those. I asked about the Penta and Phoenix masks forever. Like, if you have a masked wrestler, you should be selling their mask on your shop. I think that the AEW shop is one of the most, I don't want to say criminally, but like it's one of the biggest pieces of promotional malpractice I have seen, because like why on earth don't you have literally everything you possibly can? And they've gotten better, but like they've got Christmas sweaters up right now. Great idea. But I got to sit here and wonder, if you were to order a Christmas sweater that comes from that shop, when you getting it? Takes a while. Anything you would like to see on the shop?
Well, I agreed with you with the puppets. I think that should 100% be a thing. It's actually one of the reasons why I kind of try to tell people to book Harley Cameron, because I'm like, you could charge for pictures and videos with this puppet.
Yeah.
And people will buy it. Because I
Yes.
remember I was at New York Comic Con and the vendor that brought Daniel Garcia was charging for videos of Daniel Garcia to do the dance with a fan. People will pay for things that are over, and those puppets are extremely over. I mean, they did the turkey puppet for the Thanksgiving commercial they just did.
Yes.
That everybody loved. Besides the puppets, I don't really have anything in mind. I will mention though that at All In they were selling the miniature bats. That is also true. Fightful has got more puppets than AEW, but they had the miniature bats because All In was at Globelight, and people were coming up to get them signed by Sting, and Sting was very like, "What are these?" Yes.
How big are the bats? Like
this big.
That's a good one, honestly. That is a good one, and one that they should allow to be signed, I think.
No bad.
What's the line of thinking there?
It's
Share with us some of the protocol.
It's a weapon, Sean. Okay. What if I came to you and
so
hit
these
you with
can't get signed, buddy?
No, they can't. That was really excessive. No, Sean, because those are weapons. And a bat, if I went to you and hit you with a Sting signed bat and you tried to kill me with it and I killed you with it, then Sting is liable for the crime. And that's why Sting won't sign them.
I mean, I get not wanting bats there. I just don't think Sting would be liable for that crime. Although there would be some very bad faith accounts that have changed their username 16 times on Twitter that would claim such a thing.
Oh, well, listen. So I went so far with the bats for Cade. They are not allowed in the building. And there is a security guard outside of Sting's room that will stop you if you have a bat to go get them signed. And if you are going, my dad will not let you do it. He will stop you. There was an incident 2 weeks ago. It did not go the way we were supposed to have it.
Did you know me? I think I met you earlier that year when I got briefed by police as a result of, I haven't told you this story, have I?
No.
So if you guys go back to my interview that I had, I think it was with Ethan Page. At the time I edited most of it out because at that point I didn't want to give the person any clout, but I showed them. So when people see me be defensive, this might give them a good idea of why. I was about an hour and a half away from my house for Thanksgiving a couple years ago, and we got a notification on our doorbell cam, and it was police. And I'm like, what's going on? Did somebody in the neighborhood get shot? So I called dispatch and said, hey, I'm not home, but police are at my door. Is there something I can help with? And they're like, yeah, we'll have them call you. So the police called me and they go, are you attending an event in North Carolina this weekend in Winston-Salem? And I go, yeah, I go there every year. I work there. And they're like, what do you mean you work there? And I was like, well, I'm a wrestling reporter. I do interviews there. I'm credentialed media. And they're like, we are following up on a claim from someone who called the police and said that you were highly trained and claiming that you were going to, quote, bring the violence. That was the claim. And I was like, listen, I know this is going to sound really weird, but I'm a wrestling reporter, and sometimes there are very weird people, and I snipe back at them, and they can't handle that. So I immediately call, or I think I texted Tracy, who runs Wrestlecade, right? And Wrestlecade, or Tracy was like, yeah. By the way, I did hear about that. He's like, I told them do whatever they need to do, but like, you were not a threat. You were credentialed and allowed to be there. It's just them probably bored and following up on Thanksgiving, which, one, weird. Two, he's like, we'll talk more about it when you get here. When I get there, he, like, Tracy, like, kind of giggled about it, and he's like, you can pretty much suspect who it was, and it was one of my I was told who it was, but he introduced me to the police officer that briefed him on the situation, and the police officer showed me like this scrollable document of all the things, and in there it included like me confronting Billy Batty at wherever it was for threatening to punch a woman in the face. And it's so funny. It said he is highly trained. And I'm like, I'm going to a convention with like over 100 grown men who are like over 6'2", 250 pounds. Like, could you imagine just me walking up and being like, James Storm, you bitch, bam. MVP, what's up?
Like, this is why I threatened to kick Sean out of conventions, clearly.
Yes. But we kind of giggled about it, and I was just like, man, those are the lengths that people will go to be weird about wrestling. And then when they are weird about wrestling and they get called out about it, they really, really, really spiral. But yeah, man, that was something. And I told the story. I might drop now that I've told this publicly on the air, I might drop the unedited version of the interview, which you guys can go back. It says Ethan Page on getting hacked, his AEW deal vlog, and like Sami Callihan, Scorpio Sky, and I think Nyla ran in on it, but it was so weird. It was so weird. But fortunately, Tracy had a good sense of humor about it.
Tracy Myers, MVP. That was the year that Nyla Rose drew all over my face in paint pen at that Wrestlecade. And I had to pour hand sanitizer all over my face, and I broke out horribly after that. So don't put paint pen on your face, because don't do it.
This was before I knew you. This was December, or this was 2022. So
I was there. Who was I there? Oh, I was there with the baddies for the last time that they ever did a meet and greet together, because they broke them up on TV a week later.
Do you want to tell people how we met, Kimmy?
Oh, God. Hold on. Oh, yes. Okay. No, Sean.
About how you fangirled.
No. Sean over-exaggerates the story all the time.
About how she fangirled. She forced a world champion to introduce her to me. That's what happened.
No, it didn't.
Look how red her face is getting. Look, this is Kimmy's dream come true. Like, this was career goal. Because before Kimmy became this powerhouse in what she does now, she was in media. So look, like, she's on air with her idol, and she's having this story told about how we met. But I'll tell you, there was one thing that made me feel very old. You're like,
that I just said I wasn't born in the 90s.
Well, that too. But I've been at this for 16 years. Fightful turns 10 next year. And you had said, when did you graduate from Ryder?
2023. So like a couple months after I met you.
Yeah, around the time I met you, you're like, oh, I'm graduating from Ryder. And I go, oh my gosh, you probably went to college with Carlos Toro, because he's from Fightful and he went to Ryder. And you're like, I have no clue who that was. And then I thought about it and I was like, wait a second. I hired Carlos in 2016 when Fightful started, and he has already graduated. Oh my God, Carlos was out of writer before or right as you joined. I have been a part of Fightful through 2 entire college administrations there.
And now that college is suffering. But anyway, I'll tell the story. Since again, you're over exaggerating this. So, yes, yes. So, I was working. Who was I working with? I was a Cowboy Bob Orton and Tiffany Nieves at that
Love Tiffany.
Wrestlecade. Yes, that was before like she did everything she's doing now. It's just like so cool to see in 2 years. Like, oh my god, now she's a champ. But
She's
anyway,
great.
So Sean walks in, and I've never met Sean before. He's waiting for me to admit this too, which is why he's like. So Sean walks in, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. So I'm a shy, introverted person. Fun fact: me and Sean have been. It is true. It is true. Stop making faces at me. So anyway. Stop. It's true. It's so true. What are you doing? Okay, so I was nervous to meet you because who the hell am I to SRS? I'm nobody. I'm like nobody in media. I've never gotten anything in media up until
Everybody
that
is somebody to me. Literally, I mean this. Like, even whether I'm arguing with somebody or being nice to somebody, I will have people that go, well, I've got 7 followers. Why do I give a shit? Why do I care? Your follower count doesn't value as a human being. And Kimmy, the fact that you are an absolute dweeb doesn't devalue you as a human being.
I need you to tell somebody that this weekend, by the way. Regardless of that. So, I was a little nervous because, again, who the hell am I, a college senior who's done nothing of importance and relevancy up until this point in time to Sean? And I don't know how Sean is. You just see him online fighting people sometimes. So, again, I was a little nervous. So I go up to my good friend Deanna Perrazzo, who I knew Sean had interviewed before and is friends with Sean. So I ex Deanna Perrazzo to introduce myself to Sean. And that is what happened.
And then Deanna walks up and she's like, Sean, I hate to bother you and your lovely wife, but this fucking Mark wants to meet you.
Oh my God, that is not what she said at all.
And then she looked at me and she goes, make a wish, kid. Like that.
No,
and I was,
she didn't.
She did. She looked at me and she said that.
No, she didn't.
She went, make a wish, kid. And then she looked at me like this. She goes, and I said, well, of course, anything for Make-A-Wish. Anything for Make-A-Wish. And
that part did not happen. He's
the rest
lying.
is history.
The rest is history, but he's lying about
and
that part.
You overcame the what was it? It was a flesh-eating foot fungus that was threatening your life. That's how you got into Make-A-Wish.
What are you exposing me?
And now
like
you just,
for?
From what I understand, guys, Kimmy will take a shower cap and put it over her foot, and then she'll get like one of those hair that she's got a hair tie in right now. She'll take the hair tie and put the hair tie over it, and then like it cuts off the circulation a bit, from what I understand. But that's why if you see Kimmy, you'll probably see her wearing Chucks, right? Because they go up a little bit higher on the ankle, but they're still a little bit loose too, so she can fit those on as well. And I would like to think in some small part, I was an inspirational factor or a motivating factor in you overcoming this.
No. First of all, our
I wasn't the motivating factor in you overcoming that?
No, meaning that everything you just said is a lie. Our dress code, we have to wear Air Jordans, by the way. So I don't wear Converse, I wear Jordans. Get it right.
Your boy has some Jordans. Your boy has 2 custom pair design Jordans, the SRS 1s and the SRS 2s.
Are you going to wear them this weekend?
No, I've got something special in mind this weekend.
Oh, should I be scared? Are you trying to impress Max?
Max. So here's a funny story about MJF. The first time I interviewed him in person, I've actually got this full story on our YouTube. Please check it out, guys. It is incredible. But I had a pair of Shaqs that got me into collecting shoes, and I don't know as much anymore. But I get up to MJF's room to do this interview, and he's got the same pair of Shaqs sitting right there, and I'm like, all right, hell yeah, man, hell yeah. But we got a couple more super chats and humper chats, and then we are wrapping up. Meet Norma says, what piece of wrestling history do you have or want? I want Eddie Kingston's gas can or the Rock's fanny pack. Also, hi, Kimmy. Oh,
Hi.
I'll show you what I got.
What do you got, Sean?
Do you know what this is?
Oh, that's Sting's last water bottle that I've told you for months now to sell.
So I'm not selling it. TNA did inquire about using it for a Chris Bay fundraiser. And what I wanted to do was have it signed and then do it. But there were two of these. So this was a joke of which Vince Russo took serious, which was very funny. I was at Sting's retirement match and the press conference. Yeah, with you. And I had guzzled down water. We were there for a while, but I needed some water. And I went up there and I was like, these 2 bottles of water. I was like, hey, Adam, can I have these? And he's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, oh my God, these were Sting's. He didn't touch them or use them, but they're his. It's the last time he'll ever drink water. And I have it. And look, is there any left in there? No, it's bone dry. But I get to TSA and obviously they're like, bro, you can't. And I'm like, oh yeah. And I just chugged them right there on the spot and kept them just for the rib. I gave one of them to Vicky, who's having some health struggles. Huge Sting fan. I mailed one to her. And I love it because in her unboxing video, she immediately knew what it was. She knew immediately. But what piece of wrestling history do you want?
Can I tell you my favorite piece of memorabilia I haven't said that also has to do with Sting? So I don't know if I'm the only one who has this. I may be, I may not, I don't know. But the thing about being media credentialed is you get a physical ticket instead of a digital ticket. So Sting has signed my Revolution ticket and my media sticker is right next to it, all framed. And I'm 99.9% sure I'm the only one that has a Sting signed Revolution ticket.
For now.
Oh, what? You're gonna get your sign Saturday?
I might. Never know.
He's gonna do this because I said it. And he goes, look, 1 of 2.
I am not a big memorabilia guy. I've got, some stuff that people have made for me and things there and some things that are sentimental to me. An actual Sting bat would be cool because I do have a couple of bats. Bip Roberts, my favorite player. I think an actual Sting bat would be kind of cool.
You're not going to get it signed. I'm sorry.
Dave Koss says, can you confirm that Solo was going to beat Penta? That was the understanding I was given, but I can't confirm that. I just want to make that clear. I can't confirm that. Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh.
That is a really good one. The rubber chicken when Cody lost to Roman.
Damn.
My buddy has shrapnel from Vince McMahon's blown up limo. Let me see if I've still got this one thing over here. I do. So in 2021, one of the first events that had fans at it was Slammiversary, TNA. And I made the trip down from Nashville and I covered the event. I asked them to put me not on the TV side, and they very intentionally put me on the TV side. Thanks for that, guys. But then Sami Callihan, Kenny Omega match. And one of these bounced and hit me in the face. A thumbtack.
You have a thumbtack?
And then later on, I can't remember what I was wearing, but it like fell off of me. And I was like, oh my gosh. My goal is to eventually have Sami Callihan and Kenny Omega both sign this part of it.
Do you know how difficult that's going to be to sign?
Yeah, of course. That's why I want to do it. I'm going to get the most fine little and have them both sign it and try to auction it off to charity. That was my goal. I think Cody at one point had agreed to sign his Fightful award that we didn't get to him last year, and we would auction that off as well. But Kimmy, it is 3 p.m. It's time to end our humpage. Please tell the people where they can find you.
You can follow me on Twitter at Kimmy_Sokol. You can follow me on Instagram at Kimmy.Sokol. Or the most important reason for why I'm here, you can see me at Wrestlecade this weekend. We are bringing in 10 people alone. It is the most we've ever brought to a convention. Kind of scary, not going to lie. But I'm going to run through who we have at this show. We have Sting for the final time in face paint in North Carolina. This is a really big deal, guys, because on December 20th, he's finishing his face paint tour. Sean, are you upset about this?
Not really. I'm happy for the man. I've got nothing but love for Sting. First wrestler I ever saw, along with Muta and Flair, and I'm just happy for the man, and happy that his son is starting to carry the torch, because I happen to know him just a very little bit. What a lovely person his son is.
I heard his matches have been killing it, by the way, from various talent who've told me this. MJF will be making his Wrestlecade debut. Jamie Hayter will be making her Wrestlecade debut. Her first time at a con in, I think, like 2 or 3 years. Soraya will be returning to Wrestlecade for the first time in, I think, 2 years. Trish Stratus and Lita, Team Bestie, for the first time at Wrestlecade. We tried to do it last year, but we're doing it this year. We have Kevin Nash, Alicia Atut, and then Cross and Scarlett. Guys, Wrestlecade, like Sean said, is one of the biggest shows of the year. There is nearly 200 talent there. WWE Hall of Famers, former AEW World Heavyweight Champions, nearly every single indie talent you could possibly think of is going to be at this show. It's a fun time. There's wrestling shows. There's meet and greets. And, you know, if you can't be there virtually, you could go to High Spot, because on Saturday at 5 o'clock, Trish Stratus is doing a virtual, and she's unveiling her magazine cover and doing some stuff over there. So you can go to High Spots and check that out too.
A reminder, guys, we are on podcast platforms everywhere. I will be here's a Fightful Select plug. I won't be on the post show for Survivor Series Saturday. I'll be doing a bonus one on Fightful Select after that. Monday, WrestleVotes joins Fightful. We got the live Q&A. I've got a special Q&A dropping on Thanksgiving for you all to listen to while you travel. Also, a special debunkathon on Thursday. After this show on FightfulSelect.com, please subscribe. I'm dropping some signing news. Somebody who is signed to a contract, confirmed, dropping that very, very soon. Kate says, SRS signing 8x10s. I don't know why anybody would ever want such a thing, but if you want to take a picture with me or say hi to me, please come say hi to me at Wrestlecade. I'll be just running around doing some interviews, stuff like that.
And he has a table.
I do have a table, but I don't have a table like because I'm selling autographs or pictures. I would never charge for something like that. I've got a table, that way I can tell talent, hey, you can come here and do an interview with me. And Wrestlecade is always wonderful to me, and I love them. They're the best. But also, Burrow officially starting for the Bengals tomorrow. I will be on Common Bengals W Thursday night after the Thanksgiving game, and I'm back tonight for the AEW post show. Kimmy, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, friend. I'm glad we didn't fight for a whole hour and 3 minutes.
I'd never fight with you. What are you talking about?
Guys, I beat you on Topgolf.
Until next
time.
What is it?
I beat you at Topgolf.
You explain to people how you beat me at Topgolf.
You scored lower than I did.
Muted. Until next time, guys.